Hello, folks. This is AP the Weird One, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming Digimon project known as Digimon Liberator, which is being marketed as the next anime sort of shtick, the next big Digimon part. It's in conjunction with the Digimon card game, and it is going to be a manga slash light novel. Well, part manga, part light novel. The manga has Shota Kazuma as being the protagonist, with his partner Terramon, and Yuki with her partner Ipnon in the light novel. Now, I'm super excited for this project, though. Hopefully, the marketing will be a lot better, even though it is free. I hope Toei / Bandai will announce whenever a new chapter is out. Just praise the crap out of it. Just say, hey, please go watch this. This is brand new. Maybe to try to get some YouTubers, although they're not very popular with them, according to at least Carney X. They're not the biggest fan. But you gotta should promote the hell out of this. Maybe even trying to have multiple websites that are known for mangas and light novels. I know Bookwalker, if they can get away with being free or just really cheap. Now, when it comes to these characters, I have a general idea what their personality is going to be kind of like. Shoto's going to be the character. I mean, we know that he gives up very easily, but he's going to bounce right back. He seems kind of basic protagonist. Orisa is going to be his kind of main love interest and say, hey, you don't give up. Probably like a Taya Gardner from Yu-Gi-Oh! I think in terms of personality. Owen Dreadnought, we'll get back to him, but Zenith, we know he's got the Venmon, and he definitely gives off a Kaiba / Esther Phoenix vibe. I'm going to use Yu-Gi-Oh! Terms for some of these characters, but that's kind of what his personality and a little bit of based off a little bit of the first chapter, part one of Zero. I have a feeling this kind of gives a little bit of his personality. And then we have Yuki, who she's definitely going to be very energetic. Mom's not going to become Beelzemon, and most likely going to become Bellstarmon. And more specifically, because in EX7, which is going to feature around the Digimon Liberator characters, she's definitely going to be there's going to be the Three Musketeers, so most likely she's going to have a Three Musketeer deck. Probably be pretty powerful, like she won't have too much trouble at all, considering in the past Three Musketeers have been pretty broken, or at least Bellstarmon, so I think her deck will be good. She'll be a very cheery personality. I think she'll probably give Arisa probably a little bit of run for money if she does interact with Shota. She could turn out to be a villain, but I don't think so. That's just my theory. Anyway, moving on, we'll talk more about Shota and Arisa in a little bit. Actually, no, we'll talk about them in terms of what we expect from their starter decks, which are coming out on the 26th, a day after the light novel. The manga gets released, the first chapter. So, his deck's going to be Bird Beatdown. And we've already seen that there's going to be Muchomon and Terramon in the deck. At least Muchomon is from the Zero cover. If we go back here, we can see that Muchomon is part of him. So we know birds. Based off the recent trailer, we can see that there is Airdramon in there. And I'll show some cards off, but we also know that the Lavervo line, maybe, and then also Gatsumon is going to be possibly one of his rookies that will be featured in a star deck, because usually there's 4 rookies, or more recently there's 4 rookies. One of them's kind of like a trendsetter that just basically support being on the field, and then the others are just like backup. So we get 2 full evolutionary lines and then like a partial one. Usually a bit weird, so maybe instead of having Lavorvo's main line, we'll have Airdramon. But this is what I'm thinking is going to be his deck kind of in the very beginning. We're going to have his full evolutionary line, which is shown. And then Muchomon, which kind of typically evolves into Kakatorimon. And then Parrotmon and Eaglemon. I think Kakatorymon's also a contender. But this is who I think is going to be his second evolution line, the Mega, the birds. There are other options, which I think he's going to get into the future. Maybe. I'll explain a little bit. And then I think maybe Airdramon might become Daramon. Maybe Megadramon. I'm not sure. I could also have Airdramon be the champion for Muchomon, just given the color scheme. But I do think kind of Paramon and Eaglemon will be the other ultimate and Mega for the his secondary line. They're birds. Maybe. We'll see. I think I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, there are other bird based. Like I can show you what's been revealed for terms of birds. So we do have So we have the Biomon line, which maybe Falcomon is a possibility. If they did feature Falcomon, I'd be very inclined to see Valdermon. But I have little hope. We do know that in the future, it's going to be in the next big booster pack, BT18. There's the Ferrymon and Zephyrmon are going to be green potentially. So they will probably most likely connect up. It'll be a good support. I don't think Bio Online or even the blue variation with the Zingpanmon will be part of it. I could see Indomitable being support. And then of course there's the Falcomon, which there's a brand new Falcomon that got showed. It was a promo one that is both green and purple. So I could definitely see the Ravemon line, the Falcomon line, being part of its support. That being said, going back, I think his deck's going to start off as being bird, but over time it's going to turn into Vortex Warrior support, more magic based. Zavagamon is a Vortex Warrior along with Grand Galemon. So those two are going to be, it's going to be more of a probably Avian Dragon / Magic Vortex Warrior support. And then eventually he'll get Medieval Gallantmon. I don't think he's going to start off with this. I think it's Gallantmon is kind of the Royal Knight-ish, so we're going to get him later. Because his deck starts out as bird, that's where I think it's going to go in terms of evolution. It's going to be bird, then Avian Dragon / Vortex Warrior support. Moving on to Orisa. Now, in the trailer, we got to see both Tobiah Catmon and EX Tramon. Though Tobiah Catmon was green, so maybe a green-yellow. The same thing with Muchomon. Muchomon was also shown to be green-yellow, so potentially that maybe those two decks could work together. And then EX Tyrannomon was definitely yellow. Now, we know her deck's going to be puppet-based. And from the rehash of the memory boost cards, we do see Goblimon, Galmon, and Junkmon being in there. Junkmon is, of course, a puppet. And these are some of the Digimon we could potentially see. We could see a Pandamon because Pandamon has not been used in terms of puppet. Same thing with Noemon and also Dogmon. Warmonzemon is in his kind of own class, being with the Monzemon and Edamon support. I don't think he'll make an appearance, but maybe. Another thing to mention, there is not a lot of puppet-based megas outside of, say, Shinmonzemon. I can even show you what they have in terms of puppets and why maybe, but not, I don't think so. So we can do type puppet and we can basically kind of show you. We have the Ponchesmon line and then the Edamon. Noble Pokemon, I'm going to get back to. I'll explain a little bit later, but that's who we're dealing with. I kind of wish the Sistermons would be part of there, but I don't think so. Like they said, they're more with the Jessamon, and so I think she's going to have her own support. And then Cho Haikaimon is going to be part of the Shakamon deck. I don't think I see can return. It may return for Bellstarmon. So, with that in mind, I think we're going to get into another brand new Mega for Arisa. I think she's going to have she's going to have a brand new Mega that's going to Digivolve from EX Tyrannomon potentially. I think we'll see something along the lines. Given her deck is Fairy Tail, I will see it evolving. I don't think the Ponchesmon line will be involved. I think they could potentially, but I don't think so. That's just my theory. I think it's going to be a lot of puppet Digimon we have not seen before. And then eventually it's going to evolve. And if it does evolve, it's probably going to be... we're going to see more Fairy Tail support, like how Erlangmon and Syndramon are. But, moving on to the other characters. Owen Dreadnought. My theory is he's going to be like a Yami Bakura or Yami... who's the... Yami Merrick. There's also Evil Zane from from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. That's what Owen Dreadnought gives off the vibe, considering he lost in the big tournament against Zenith. I'm surprised his deck hasn't been also announced yet. I mean, we do know his partner, but they're saving that for something. Then, of course, we have the ghost hair girl, kind of like the white hair girl with her Tsunarizamon. My prediction is it's going to be Blasphemon support. I definitely think there's rocks. Although we do see like some kind of thing in the background. It's the first time I actually noticed it. I'm not sure. Kind of like maybe like a rocky bird. Huh? I noticed that before. Or maybe it could be Galemon. I'm not sure. But I think Blasphemon, I could see you being kind of like ice cold personality. Have like Bonsho Goemon. And of course, Blasphemon. That's what I think is she's going to have a rock-based deck. There is a part of me thinks that she might do Tealocamon, I'll show you what. We're going to get support for her, so for support for this deck, but Tealocamon, I don't think he's going to be it. That's just my humble hunch. I think more rock-based. Next up is Ghostmon. I definitely have an idea what her personality is. Definitely a big kind of tsundere, kind of like, I beat your butt, but then she's kind of like a softie. I think she's going to do Pumpkinmon line, or more specifically Ghost, maybe a different version of Piedmon. But I think she's definitely do the Ghost path. She won't intersect with the puppets with Arisa. And then we have this version of Cool Boy. My gut says he might be a human version of Yagersil. And he's just kind of like, he's going to be the out protagonist, and he might have a Real Knight deck or like an Omegamon deck, considering that's what Omegamon has done in the past. He might start off with just normal Real Knights and then get the X antibody versions. But we could also see a new evolution line. I'm not sure. Because Omegamon is an X antibody, but who knows. And then, of course, we have this girl. There's not a lot of going on with Mollusk. So my thought process is that maybe she will do Marine Angemon and maybe Cthulhumon. She'll want something like very cutesy. That's kind of where I'm leaning towards. That's my thought process is the Marine Angemon and then Cthulhumon. But another thing I do want to show is the other support Digimon that we saw, the new memory boosts. We see Lavorvamon, we see Muchomon, we see Gutsumon. Gutsumon's definitely the one that kind of surprises me. And of course, we have on the other edge for Shumon, Junkmon, Galmon, and Gobblymon. So we have those. I don't know. Digimon Liberator was, being advertised as a new big thing, and I just wanted to share some theories on what I have of what's going to happen, at least in terms of the characters and types of decks that we're going to have. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. To those who are on Rumble, I am uploading the Let's Plays for Pokemon Silver, which is done, and then I'm working on Dragon Quest Monsters, and then after those are done, I'm going to start my next Let's Play, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and see you guys next time.